mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like, women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave how I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in, I should not put it, where's my back?
They think no matter all the rights, they have the power to create patriarchal system that we have. Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
No wife, no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are we equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon them.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose to alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
I'm just telling me, you are no good.
You gotta get your act together.
I think men have failed ourselves.
What kind of woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are we.
Everybody knows it's a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they want to know. 500K, 300K, 300K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against the fellas and men.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it. When is it going to be my turn? Where are we hearing the men that don't stop? I can't keep having these same conversations.
Said here is you, Pearl. You said
I think you said for women.
she's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this thing.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband. The future, if everybody follows their path, is the different future.
Well, the population decline and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis failing young men.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. If you guys want, that was the trailer for my divorce documentary. As you guys know, I attempted to make a divorce documentary last year before I was demonetized, kicked off of like 7 TikTok accounts, 8 Instagrams. It never ends. These women, they get so mad at me. Do you know what? It's like they're just an army, okay? They're like, oh my goodness, you know, my co-host, Go Get Him, he always says, you're so, they always say to me, you know, I got respect for you because you at least put your face out there, and guys, it's like, you guys don't know what it's like being a YouTuber. Every woman you meet is a liability. Maybe this is how it's probably how you guys think when you date women, but it's like, if I meet a woman day to day, it's like, this is a liability.
What's up, you guys? You guys want to play another game? Or you guys want to stay here?
It never ends. Anyways, point is this. So, they really don't want this documentary to come out. They've done a pretty good job slowing it down. But like you know us, you guys have gotten us, you know, kickstarted. We've raised $32,550 for this. And I want to say a special thank you. I'm just going to say first names for not, like, being anonymous here on the GoFundMe when I announced the donation. Just in case.
You guys want to play the same game?
We had a $500 donation yesterday from CJ. Thank you so much. And $50 from Josh, putting us at $32,550. Guys, once we get to 100K, I'm going to hire a team. I've gotten quotes. I've gotten, you know, if we got $1 million, I could actually hire, oh my God, it's insane. The same team that made What is a Woman, but I mean, that's like expensive, so. We could do it with less, we just gotta get to 100K. So anyways, so today we're talking about my favorite topic, and there's just a special place in my heart for kicking these TradCon women butts. Alright. And the reason is, you know, I want you to understand a little bit about my background. I realize I have a lot of new viewers these days, and I did 12 years Catholic school, okay? And I attended Catholic Mass, I would say 10 or early 20s. And I grew up a lot around these
Son of a bitch.
women. And I think
I'm
I
gonna have
need
to
to
play
be the
another game.
TradCon destroyer. And there's just a point in my life where I could not figure, I knew something was off or something pissed me off about these TradCon women, but I never could, I could never articulate what. And I never understood why I got along better with liberal women rather than these, a lot of times, stuck-up bitches, right? I just couldn't get it. I'm like, why do I get along with these women that I have nothing on paper in common with? Like, they believe in basically killing their kids up to birth. I think it's wrong, but it just wouldn't make sense to me. And I realized it's because the conservative women, liberal women, they believe in really messed up stuff. So what I found with liberal women is I'm going to divide it into two halves. There's the halves that are crazy and believe in crazy ideas. And then there's the other liberal woman who believes in silly things, but she's a nice person. And I always got along with those women where, they're pretty fun, but they just believed in silly, stupid things. Where the conservative women, they just tend to be conservative for their, because they're not fun and have no personality. And it's just a virtue signal. And when I see these commentators using it, and look, I'm not the most religious person in the world. I've been upfront about that. But when I see commentators grifting the religion I grew up with, the religion that my family is, that pretty much everyone around me growing up is, I just think there's a special place in hell for these women that convert and then start lecturing me. And it's so annoying because, and I'm just going to rant, I just got to do this. I cannot stand women that lecture me on Catholicism. When, if you took the early part of my life, I practiced more than you do. You might be practicing right now, okay? But imagine you're LeBron James, and I'm not saying I'm the same thing, but just for the analogy. And you put up 100 points, or I'll say 10,000 points over 5 years. And then somebody comes in on year one and they've put in 1,000 points. And then they start telling you how to play basketball. And you're like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's how you feel, you know.
Son of a bitch.
So, that's my feel. If anything, I would say to steer clear of the churches or any woman with a Bible verse in her bio, I would just block her at this point. When sex bots and artificial wombs go mainstream, women are done. I don't think so, unfortunately. That's a dream I hear. But in my opinion, men are just, I've seen too much, okay? And that's my problem is, and I was in a space the other day, which, by the way, I'm locked on my Twitter right now. So if you guys bought the Bitcoin they tweeted, it's survival of the fittest out here, really. I can't even feel that bad because, if I didn't announce it, out of my mouth, if I was going to launch a Bitcoin, it wouldn't be through a tweet. So if someone bought that, some people in life I just think are meant to lose money. But anyway, so the issue I have is that I've seen a lot. So, I know a lot of these guys personally on these podcasts. And I would say it's not really the big YouTubers that I'm talking about, but please don't go around saying Pearl said this about that YouTuber. You're not going to know who I'm talking about, okay? But I would hear certain YouTubers or influencers, whatever, say oh, I won't date this, and that, and then date exactly this, or that, this, or that, and want to marry these women. And then you hear it all the time, these guys say men don't want to date that, and they don't, but men do settle, right? Men do want the 22-year-old hotties, but if the 22-year-old hotties are are too hard to.
With AI, almost anything is possible. But that goes for cyber criminals too.
Too difficult to deal with. They'll just take. It's like, men want a Ferrari, but they'll deal with the Honda Civic. Do you know what I mean? They're like, the Honda, yeah, it's got some miles on it, but it's going to keep running for life. Okay, so today we're talking about nagging. So welcome to another episode of Pro Daily. Women nag men. Now, it's a grim reality for most men in marriages and relationships. Women really feel entitled to having things their way, and the man they are with really has to comply or pay severe consequences. So it's funny how women say they're better at communicating, but don't know how to communicate with their husbands or boyfriends about nagging. It's also funny that women call men all sorts of things. They call men controlling, abusive, emotionally detached. But it's really projection, to be honest, women are all of those things. But regardless, you never hear a woman call a man a nag, and men just don't nag women. Do you know what I mean? It's like men know that their opinion doesn't matter and that people have traits that you don't like, right? And they will put up with traits they don't like because they know they are not perfect either. That's why they don't really go around trash talking their ex-boy or their ex-girlfriends, partially because they're kind of scared of them, but also because their ex-girlfriends, they know they're not without fault either, and they don't really want to go back and forth. But, the fastest way I've witnessed women lose their husband's attraction and romance in a marriage is, besides being a whore and catching an STD, having another man's kid, outside of that is to nag him to death. And I would go so far that nagging is so annoying that men would actually take a child before they take a nagging woman. They would take care. I would go so far. I have never seen a man more beaten down than a man that's just every day the woman's telling him what's wrong with him. And to be fair, there probably is something wrong with him. I mean, there's something wrong with everybody. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. I mean, I'm a little bit messed up to do this job, if I'm being honest, guys. Do you know what I mean? I can't be like, who wants to talk for 3 hours? Who wants to, so, like, I'm under no, but, a lot of the times women, they never have this thought cross their mind, ever, in their entire life. It's like, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And modern women, they can't help it. They just focus on, the man can have 10 awesome traits, but they'll focus on the one trait they don't like. And we see this nagging culture throughout American culture. Now, I came up with a couple points about the modern woman nagging, okay? Women feel entitled to giving their opinion, men don't. Men know their opinion doesn't matter in the long run, but accomplishment and actions do. So this is why you always see women nagging about the restaurant or whatever. This is why you see them do it. Because they'll bitch, they'll moan, where the men are just, they say good enough. They'll focus on the one dish they did like. You can also tell how emasculated the man is by how little the wife knows about men and how she treats them in public. So, like, sometimes, I'll give you an example. The other day I met this woman who was telling me about her life on the dating market and how she is a divorced mother of 4, right? And she was telling me about how she just can't help but give her opinion about stuff, right? And I was telling her, I'm like, look, one thing I've learned in relationships, and, at times I